Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to hi-rez Studios. My name is F. Dot.
Oh, you're F. Dot.
I heard that actually.
Oh, Hinduman, that's F. Dot. Ha! Incredible.
Yeah, you know, the only analyst here that got the picks right because he actually did the work to figure out how good the Myrmidons were. Just saying.
I mean, like
2-0. You're welcome.
It was still Challenger versus Pro League, like.
Talent versus talent is what we analyze.
So
here.
apparently, all right, F. Dot BM says that it doesn't have talent.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the SPL, and we finished our European match for the day. We're going into North America. Team Eager sits on top 2-0. A couple of teams have split down the middle, and you might see a bunch of zeros, and that's because it's the very beginning of our split. We've got the headline match today, Hell in a Cell, Pain v Pern. It's Enemy versus Cognitive Gaming. These two teams, there's a big grudge match history here, isn't there?
I'm a little upset that this is a 2-game set, because if it splits, I'm going to be pissed. It's got to be 2-0 for me. Like, we got to see one team take the grudge.
I'm with you. So to fill in some of you guys, if you don't know, real quick rewind. Basically what happened was Pain to Beyond was on a team with DJ Pernicus and friends. Okay?
Well, no, not friends.
Called Legion of Carrots. What happened was,
Not
being
friends.
the captain, he kicked them all and got a new team.
Which is apparently fine.
Yes. That's as per the rules. Captain has control. So he drafted a new team. That new team was sponsored by Enemy. Cognitive restructured, and they drafted DJ Pernicus and friends. So
Yeah,
you have Pain to Beyond in the new roster and the old roster on Cognitive. There's so much. This is just a lot of fun for me.
See, to me, this is the type of thing that forces retirements. A loss of 2-0 for me would be quit skis.
Yeah,
I think that would be out. This is a bad place to be for either person.
I mean, this is just exciting. It's not just the first game of the season for these guys. Honestly.
This is the last game of the season, like for real. Because I mean, being serious, the odds of either one making that world stage is small.
Right. Yeah,
it's small against the big. I'm not saying they can't. But I imagine for both of them, this matters more than the big boys.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, North America is pretty well sanctioned as far as who's on top and whatnot. So these teams, of course, anybody can go crazy, and maybe we'll see a great run. But right now, it's really about the statement that each team really wants to make here. Pain to Beyond versus Pernicus has been sort of like trending unofficially throughout the Reddit and the Twitter, and well, we're finally here, and we're bringing it to you live from hi-rez Studios, Picks and Bands.
We got the
Cog versus
We got
Enemy.
the PvP P's and B's.
Smite is always PvP.
No, Pain versus Pern. Come on.
All right. I got it. I like it. PvP, P's and B's. Bologna, no thank you. Cognitive bans her out immediately.
A kind of awkward first ban. This is not a ban that we normally see coming out from the blue side. Usually it's red that wants to take this away. Wukong, of course, still on the table. We know that North America loves Fenrir as well, as opposed to the Emir and the Ares that are consistently banned in Europe. Enemy's option here, though, talking it through.
I mean, we'll take a look. Enemy, as we said, this is sort of the newer squad. A lot of these players on this team, Chaos, etc., they haven't really seen the SPL level. They haven't played on this stage, Brandon. Whereas Cognitive, we have some veterans on this team.
That's true. Now, Meerkat, of course, came from the old COG roster. The best is coming back to play mid lane, which is incredible. I mean,
That's awesome.
This is an all-star roster. My favorite, of course, 2 of the 5 parts of the original Fat Chunk, or the newer Fat Chunks roster, Aurora and Kabam, make their return to the Pro League. Kabam, actually having, thanks to him only subbing in for like 1 game, has the highest KDA from the last split. Aurora, of course, was the support for Eager as well. So there is an all-star lineup on COG, compared to Enemy, where it's a lot of players that are just kind of like ranked players.
Just unproven players. Players that have really done everything positive in the ranked world, but question marks on their faces when it comes to the pro scene. Sylvanus being picked up after the picks and bans. Nothing really terribly interesting on the side of bans, but the Sylvanus first pick, you sound excited.
I'm actually pretty confused. Sylvanus this early puts a rather large amount of counter potential for Enemy. Athena going to be grabbed away. Opwash still on the table. If they're going to pick it, though, it's likely going to be closer to last.
Well, there we are. Athena picked up. So the Guardians are off the table. But here's the thing. Athena can flex a little bit. We've seen her in the jungle and daring people play her in the solo lane. And as we mentioned before, Cognitive Gaming, We know these players, expect what we expect, but enemy, they're ranked players, and we are uncertain, which is kind of fun when we come into the P's and B's. Agni selected for enemy. Great choice in the middle lane, no matter who you are.
So across the way, Cognitive has a few options for their mid lane as well. With Isis being taken away, Agni and Janice are already gone as well. It starts to get limited. Poseidon, we know the best has always loved. Scylla is still available. Scylla, the character that kept Team Dignitas back when Best was on it alive against the Fat Chunks. We know that he has a great one, and there she is.
The potential for this character, so early on, it's going to be Scylla is not very strong, which gives you a little bit of insight into that Isis ban. Isis has tremendous wave clear, and Scylla is probably the worst viable option in that mid lane when it comes to wave clear. So sort of taking out the opposite with Isis allows Scylla a little bit more breathing room, unless enemy opts to go Poseidon.
All right, so Osiris going to be locked away here pretty early to grab the solo laner. Cognitive Gaming must have something planned for the next phase. Thor going to be locked in by enemy. That global presence going to be very important.
Third round or second round of bans coming out. Third ban per squad. We'll take a look. And Serket going to be knocked out by enemy. They don't want any more of those assassins as per the Ao Kwang ban first go around. And Cognitive now looking for their ban. Following that will be enemy's choice, leaving Cognitive with the 2-pick.
You know, this is important here because they're also taking the shots at DJ Pernicus. They're trying to lock away his god pool. Right. Odin going to be taken away. Painivion, one of the more famed Odin players worldwide.
Odin also brings something unique, which is kind of difficult to deal with. Sure, most of these characters already drafted for Cognitive can get out of the ring, but it does pose a little bit of a... You sort of have to change your thought process. Medusa picked up for enemy.
Athena Medusa.
I mean, that's the combo.
That's the dream. There's Cupid. I love it. I think Cupid right now is serious contender.
Why is that?
I mean, his damage in the early game is incredible.
Of course.
People are really underutilizing his sustainability in the end game thanks to Hearts. There's a lot of control, and there's Cabrakan, the character probably made most famous by the Best and DJ Pernicus, both of whom were on this team. So this is a really strong, very highly controlling matchup. You're looking for zoning control. Cabrakan controlling top left, Cupid controlling the middle, Scylla controlling top right, Sylvanus controlling backline, or vice versa in any regard. They have so much space control. On the other side, a lot of global ultimates, great amount of reinitiation prowess, and then, of course, Sun Wukong to do literally whatever he wants.
Sun Wukong has been picked so often recently, just because, I mean, I don't want to say just because.
He is the vanilla solo laner for this. He doesn't lose any matchups. He doesn't really win any matchups. Late games, he does pretty decently. He just has everything that you could want. He has slows, he has stuns, he has a ton of poke damage. He's a great pickup.
New Chalk with more tools this time around, essentially. So we're getting into the game, ladies and gentlemen. First of two. Don't forget, this is a 2-game set. Cognitive Gaming versus Enemy. Now, these rosters might be a little surprising, might be a little bit new, so we'll go ahead and introduce them as long as Wiggles DeBay gets out of jail. It looks like he will. Cognitive Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, on the left-hand side. Meerkat in the solo lane on that Osiris. No surprise to see DJ Pernicus in the jungle on Cabrakan. Best will be in the middle on Scylla, and Aurora and Kabam make up the duo lane with Sylvanus and Cupid. Enemy on the other side will have Salt Machine in the solo lane on that Wukong. Wiggles in the jungle on Thor. Chaos on the great Agni middle lane, and Pain and Vedium will make up the duo lane with the 1-2 punch of Medusa Athena.
So what I'm looking towards for enemy is going to be Chaos. This guy, while yes, somewhat unproven, has an incredible god pool, incredible matchup knowledge. He's really a very strong, very underrated player. This was a very smart pickup in my eyes from Painivion, allowing him to get in. We should talk a little bit about the fact that we didn't see the quote paradigm start coming out from enemy. They're doing a rather awkward start where the right side mid camps have already been taken.
So where is that going to leave each player? Because as we know, the paradigm start helps out certain positions. What does what enemy just did bring to the table?
Well, you're actually going to see DJ Pernicus already starts rotating in. He's going to notice this is down. This is going to change his game plan.
That's part of the script that this paradigm starts off. The jungler clears off buffs, heads to mid lane, wave, mids, wave, back, sort of, etc. It's a very long choreographed dance.
Did DJ not hit level 2?
He did not. Level
so I
1.
guess
there it is.
Yeah, he left the blue buff a little bit too early. He did not get enough experience there. Painivion in a lot of trouble.
Heart bomb.
Stun. 2 more.
Basics are off the mark from Aurora. Those need
One
to
more.
land. One more.
Oh
Not
my God!
quite, and
They turned
Vedium
it around.
turns it right around and hits Kabam. A couple of missed basics, unfortunately, making that first blood go the way of enemy. Well, unfortunately for Cognitive, fortunately for enemy, I'm sure they're feeling very good because that one did not look to be going that way.
No, I mean, Kabam really had that, and I'm not sure why Aurora decided not to body block versus going for the kill. Yes, the kill would have been important, but either way, the Hunter would have died. First, kill on the support versus trading out the support for the Hunter, probably not going to be the best way to go either way. And with that, enemy takes a rather early lead. It's good.
Solo lane looks pretty much what...
Wow, that's big.
That is big. The stun, I didn't expect the stun to happen. Salt Machine not looking in a good spot right now. 25% HP. Well, he's got the passive.
You know, that's something that we noticed in the previous splits from Meerkat is he threw the sickle right away.
Right.
And even if he hit that, it would have been a small, very, very small amount of damage, and it wouldn't have slowed. He was already in the Ox. He didn't wait for the stun. After that, didn't follow up properly with auto attacks. There should have been 200 to 300 less health on Salt Machine, and unlike what we saw previously from the Myrmidons, the auto attack cancels were off. He's limiting himself in damage, and he's not maximizing in lane.
Not maximizing, but still winning at the moment, ahead by about half a level.
It's true.
And half an HP bar, which pretty much means the difference. DJ Pernicus still only level 4. That ultimate from Cabrakan, a big part of what makes his burst really come out after the 1-2.
Well, he got it. He got it. He just got it there. Left side camp going to be spawning soon. Right side as well. Remember, both camps were taken at the start, meaning they're going to have very similar times. Now, Pernicus is going to spot out the rotation from Thor there. Wiggle's going to be forced to rotate back over. And again, mid camp's coming up very soon.
One more time, Jungles in the mid lane. Expect this to be your motif for these matches. Jungle spend a lot of time sharing the waves with these mid laners. It allows the mid laner like Scylla to be more of a safe pick than she used to be because of that lack of wave clear. Having your jungler there really helps that go long.
Right, and not to mention then you can get your mid laner to help you out with clearing the jungle, which is a very big part of the meta as well. It's almost like not quite, but it's almost a double jungle strategy that we saw so long ago. It's become very popular lately.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, when this patch first hit, a couple of people were thinking about actual double jungle viability. Of course, that's not where we're at, but it is this hybrid role, as you said, where the mid laner will share buff camps with the jungler because of that Bumbus mask, able to get the full amount of gold as usual, and that's really not a big deal. Kabam, as we visit the long lane here, still only level 4.
Well, he should be hitting level 5 here. Aurora about to hit level 6 as well. We should also note that he's about 300 gold off of his timing. You're going to see, going back to the base, Medusa should be very soon getting those dev gloves online.
And those dev gloves are...
They should go all in here. If the Medusa didn't back where she should have, they should throw all damage her way right now.
On Dusa?
Yes, they got to. But they're not going to. They're actually afraid of that taunt. They know that Medusa can also CC immune herself, but she can't CC immune herself through everything. Had they put the Fields of Love down, it would have forced the forced the Stone Gaze directly into the Wrath of Terra. It should have been a kill there, but they're deciding to play the safe route, probably because they're afraid of the Confound.
The Confound is, I mean, the entire gist of playing well around the Medusa ult is don't look at her, and Athena can quite literally make you look at her.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of burst. It's a lot of burst coming out of Medusa when all things go her way, Brandon. So maybe it's not a bad thing that they're being a little careful.
Top side, we're seeing a 3-man split of the red compared to DJ Pernicus here, all alone, not getting anything out of that Bumbus mask. There's a major rotation to the left lane, but there is no one to find here.
Pernicus looking at the right lane.
I'm more looking at the left. There's still a huge rotation. Aurora. Oh, why did they back off of that?
Safety blink.
Were they afraid of just Sylvanus?
I think they were afraid of the rotations that were going to come from the best. Scylla, level 8 now. That crush is going to hit for a lot. It's enough to clear the wave just about now. And clearing the wave is the least of their opponent's problems when that crush hits a player.
So Pain hasn't backed yet, and this is important because he has more than enough gold to finish those boots up. And the earlier that you're going to get those Travelers online, the better. Remember, every time you hit someone within a 90-second cooldown, you're going to get 30 gold. Now, Aurora already has his, which means he's going to start gaining bonus gold that Pain doesn't have access to. And with that, Aurora should be very aggressive here.
That also opens other options. We might see cooldown boots for more taunts.
It's possible. It's possible.
DJ Pernicus now still looking for a gank. Pain to Beyond spots him out, communicates it, and you see how fast Vedium just backs off of this lane. DJ Pernicus has been
Look at
trying
this.
to find things, but here comes Wiggles in the
Chaos
sky.
is here too.
Looking for a slam, and he gets 3 in the back line. Immediately stopped out by DJ Pernicus.
That's a
Is
kill.
stunned, and that's going to be a death. Kabam picking up the kill that he dropped they dropped earlier on. Looking good. Level 7 on that Cupid. 110 versus 100.
And that's going to not even out the gold, but it's also going to put Thor behind. This allows DJ Pernicus, who is on Cabrakan, a very gold-reliant god, very base-level reliant god, to get some extra farm where he normally wouldn't have it. For me, that looked like enemy's fight. That was a 4v3 engagement, but Wiggles stepped out of position and it hurt him.
Kabam takes a little bit of poke from the shield wall and acid spray. I say a little bit because the hearts are going to come out.
There they are.
And it's going to play triage, and all of a sudden, Kabam right back up there.
He should have taken the fight and just put on the bee skin, man.
Picking up the highs, it doesn't make any sense to me. You get hurt even more. Still fighting in the long lane, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, Heart Bomb is a serious ability at this stage of the game. One of the more threatening. We're going to see another 4-man rotation to left, this time just to control the purple buff. On the bottom side, we're seeing something very similar, but they're going to take the red, they're going to back off.
Enemies playing very...
Wait. Look at this.
Nope.
They're going to go for it here. They still have rotation probabilities, and that went to purple. Yeah, it's the top side. Uh-oh.
Great pull coming out of Aurora, going to bring Vedium, but DJ Pernicus not able to get the wall down quick enough. Because of that, Vedium uses Lacerate to get out of problems. No big deal.
Well, I mean, he also had to activate a 3-minute beads. When's the next time we're going to see that Stone Gaze? Oh, never mind. It's up. It's up now. There it is. There it is.
DJ's been looking for these ganks, and he hasn't been able to find them, but somehow is still above his opponent, Thor. Now, in this current meta, we speak to a lot of these pro players, and one of the biggest mistakes a jungler can make is fighting instead of farming.
Oh, left lane.
DJ's doing the fighting, but he's getting the farming as well. Kabam doing both. Takes out Pain to Beyond all by himself with the help of Aurora.
Well, Aurora, and hits him with the Wrath of Terra, pulls him right off the landing of it, which was absolutely gorgeous. You could actually see it unfolding on the minimap. Kabam throws down the Fields of Love to lock him in there, and then just lays waste with the Heart Bomb. Huge kill right there. Actually going to put him now in line, a little bit behind in gold, but he's probably ahead of experience. He should be about a quarter level to half a level ahead.
Now, I mean, that's the determination and the mental fortitude right there. Earlier, when they dropped the first blood and it went the other way, being able to stay in the game and then turn that around, get your own kills in the long lane, because 7 minutes is not the end of the match.
Kabam right there backed a little bit too soon. Didn't have enough money to finish those boots off. You can see he's sitting at level 2.
Right.
His golden hand is going to be a little bit less. Check out the minion kills here. Top belonging to Meerkat, utilizing beautifully that Death Toll, keeping himself stacked up, clearing very quickly. He's going to be going into Runeforge Hammer compared to what looks like the Mystical Mail pickup from Salt Machine, and this also could be a Midgardian Mail as well, given the fact that they have multiple auto attackers on this side.
Now, staying on the same vibe of talking about the items, I want to look at Kabam real quick. Now, we have pretty much 2 accepted sort of ways to go. You either go Devo Gloves or you go Transcendence. And when you build a Transcendence, you have more mana, a little bit less damage, but
way more damage.
But no early lifesteal, which is important.
Wait a second. Wiggles only going to find... Whoa, it actually doesn't find him. Aurora will fall here inside the Fields of Love. Pain Diama gets stuck, but it's not going to be enough to get the kill. With that, Cognitive going to drop another one. 2-2 ties the score.
That's the quintessential Thor gank.
Yeah.
Thor up, Thor down, hit him with the combo, get the kill, and walk out. Fantastic play coming out from Wiggles. But again, so you see the boots before the Aussie. Now, the only reason this is acceptable is because of the hearts. Share the love is what makes...
You're counting chickens, brother man.
For the hatch?
That might not be an Aussie.
Oh, yeah?
That could be the
Soul
Death
Eater?
Gloves.
Oh, the double stack.
The old Cupid double stack into oboe.
The problem with that one, that ramp time is so long.
No, see, not on Cupid, though, because Heart Bombs and Fields of Love scale so insanely highly that it puts him in a position of power at pretty much every stage. Not to mention, remember, hearts are going to scale as well, which means they're going to be healing for absurd amounts.
So just because of the hearts existing and the scaling, Cupid's actually an interesting exception to what a lot of our accepted hunter builds, because there's so many different things going on. Right here, pretty much the same old, same old. Meerkat has been running this solo lane.
You know, usually when you see the Mystical Mail come out, they rush it. At this point, That was weird. At this point, if he had already bought the Mystical Mail, which is what usually would have happened,
right,
he would have been able to control the lane. But now, since he's given up so much experience and gold, he's put himself in a position of weakness. Now, he has it online now. He should be able to control a little bit better. But at this point, there's been so much extra farm given to Osiris that he normally wouldn't have. Trouble.
Taunt into the Wrath of Terra. Thor comes down, but great heads up by Aurora to knock him right up in the air and gives his Cupid just enough time to get out of trouble. A lot of stuff used on the side of enemy, but Cognitive gets out clean.
So I actually play a lot with Kabam, and I could tell you what he's saying right now.
What's that?
With confidence. Oh, look, there's a Thor in my lane. Like, that is for the what, third time? Fourth time?
Yeah.
It's been a lot. Kabam has been known to be camped, whether it's casual, whether it's ranked in tournaments. We saw it during Challengers Cup last season.
Right.
We saw it for Eager.
Enemy's been paying a lot of attention to this dual lane.
And yet,
Cupid's not a hyper carry in the late game. He has an effect, of course, but he's not a Freya. He's not one of these Shibalonkas that needs
Medusa.
to be camped. Right, exactly. So is this about the player, Brandon? Is this about Kabam specifically, or is it just we don't want to gank warriors in the solo?
Meerkat's probably going to lose this, excuse me, for 1 second as we see him try to fight towards 2. It's probably because of Kabam. His chemistry is great, but they're still rushing him down. Tiger Stun might go off here. DJ Pernick is stunning out repeatedly. Decent damage as well. Locks him inside. Tremor's going to do some damage, and that's a kill. Beautiful play by Pern.
Pernicus just stood there long enough for his team to respond, did the damage that he could, locked somebody in, and had faith that the best at Aurora would come alongside and help him out. That's exactly why that kill was confirmed. Fantastic teamwork there coming out from Cognitive Gaming to bring their kill count one above their enemy, 3-2.
So with that, they're putting themselves again in a position of power. Getting a kill at this stage also means mid-camp control. As you can see, left side's going down, guaranteed. Right side probably going to be started soon as well. No, are they gesturing the Gold Fury? No, they're going for the gank.
It's the rotation.
And VDM's going to spot this, obviously. They just all walk through a ward.
A giant ward as we see that on the spectator, and Kabam and Aurora realize that, and they'll head back the safe way.
Well, right there is the information due to lack of information. They see that he's backing up, which means they know that there is a ward of some sort on the Gold Fury now, which gives them a guaranteed 50 gold win should they decide to sentry.
The best in the mid lane, along with DJ Pernicus. Again, we mentioned that this is what to expect, but
you see that, by the way? Zayden kind of hinting at almost everyone being pretty high level here. You see level 12s coming out, Aurora right now 1 level ahead, although Kabam is a level behind a VDM.
That's all right when the best is 2 levels ahead of mid lane.
That's true. And, you know, Scylla versus Agni both have really good end games, but Scylla having that advantage is huge because that means she won the part of the game that's in her disadvantage. End game, I'd say both of them are pretty much even. It comes down to whether or not Scylla gets the reset.
Yeah, I think it comes down to really what you... So Scylla will do more raw burst damage with a crush and I'm a monster, but Agni able to do some more control in that sense with the noxious fumes and such. So sort of different flavors in the end game. But if you're just trying to blow somebody up, the best is on the right god.
Salt Machine in some trouble here, or so he thinks. Meerkat is in some trouble. Double stun, gonna be good. Triple stun, he jumps away. 1 more hit's gonna do it. Can they find it? Oh, yes, they can.
Yeah, the ultimate is gonna slam right down on the warrior, and Salt Machine
That's a Gold Fury,
picks up
though.
the kill. And because of that,
oh, no.
attention paid to the Gold Fury. But there's enough members of enemy here. The dual lane is here. Don't forget, Vedium's ultimate is strong.
Pernicus was a little bit late here. It's going to come down. Best, Cognitive's going to take that one for free. Too many people rotating to the solo lane. They're going to try to re-engage, though. Wiggles takes to the sky. He's looking at a roar.
Lands on no one. Unfortunately, misses his target. So Aurora will get out of there no problem.
Great blink. It really was. I mean, he got out of combat for long enough, baited the ultimate, stepped him away. That's a huge win right there for Cognitive. Let's take a look at the graphs.
That's a huge swing. 2,000, just under 2,000 gold going the way of Cognitive Gaming. The first real lead in the game, but DJ Pernick is caught out. He's in trouble, but Scylla's I'm a monster. Not enough to take anyone down. Chaos is, though. DJ Pernicus falls to the wayside.
You know, it's hard to point the finger on that one. I don't know if Pern went in too soon or Best just took too long, didn't have the call ready. Maybe he was too far back, but there was definitely a miscommunication there. Had they been on time, that looked like a double or maybe even a triple. The way that DJ set it up was great. It's just, was his teammate ready or was Best just lagging behind?
I mean, that's what we saw last time around, right? DJ Pernicus did a bunch of damage right on the right side of the mid lane, and then his team responded. This time, those 3 steps that we always make fun of you for mincing, well, those actually came into play.
What do you mean act? They always come into play. It's really important. Hate you.
Huge misplay right there. No, just kidding, of course. But that's the difference between being right there on time and just a hair too late. That DJ Pernickes last time converted into a kill. This time, dropped it.
Does Aurora really think that he's going to get these? He got them.
He got them.
Well, and I'm sure he's...
and he's jumping for joy.
He's throwing a big thank you to Chaos for helping him out. He would have been there for a while. So Chaos obviously is getting some thanks from the blue side.
Should have started Soulstone.
I mean, like, it's a good idea. I
actually don't hate it, and I get it. I think it's very, very ingenious. One of the cool things that I do like about DJ Pernickes' Cabrakan choice that we just got to see is the slight level of objective secure that he holds. That ultimate surrounded the Gold Fury, so nobody could really come in. That's really undervalued. DJ, because not DJ, but Cabrakan, the character. That wall is so cumbersome.
Oh, jeez. Very quick right there. Wiggles not only teleports away, but uses his beads as well. So Pernickes will use a level 1 blink, but he gains a small win with the level 2 beads, about a 45-second difference.
Blink is so loud. If you talk to any of these pros, one of the things they'll tell you if you're trying to raise your game to the next level is put on headphones.
Yeah.
Turn the sound up.
I mean, that's any game. Call of Duty,
of course.
You cannot play Call of Duty without a headset. You must be able to hear footsteps.
Exactly. And in Smite, it's no difference. Blink is loud. You can hear Loki while he's stealth. All of these things sort of come to the front line, and it's so important. Not just what you see, but what you hear. You can hear gangs coming, and a lot of times you'll be able to see these players with crazy reactions. A lot of times they're reacting to the sound cue.
So we're about 17 and a half minutes in here with Cognitive having a small lead thanks to the Gold Fury win. They're down by a kill, but the kill, of course, resulted in the objective take. Over in the right side, it doesn't seem like Meerkat was too threatened by the rotation. Although he has lost his experience advantage, you can see Wukong still is being forced back to the base. Meerkat maintaining relevancy in this lane.
It's very interesting to see how this one goes. Wukong is worth more in gold. He's up in experience, slightly about half a level ahead, it looks like. But Meerkat still has just dominance over it. Sitting on the front of the tower, doing what he wants. And Salt Machine very, very low. He will get stunned.
He does it every time. The definition of insanity, right, is doing the same thing over and over and expecting there to be different results. We have personally seen him do that 3 times. How many times has it happened off camera? How many times has Meerkat baited him into the same situation?
This time around, though, great pull, and Wiggles is gone. The best takes out that kill off a great pull from Aurora, one of the better assists we've seen out of this support player.
Pull, stun, cripple, stun?
Done.
Right? Just, my lord.
Put a fork in it.
There was a root in there somewhere as well. We got a teleport coming in.
Teleport on the left-hand side. That's going to be the Osiris. Meerkat ready to fight. Cognitive Gaming after that kill on the jungler wants to make a statement in this middle lane.
And there's no teleport coming out from Wukong. They have got to make a play here. They're going to have a 5-person rush into this. They're going to get the tier 1. I don't think that Wukong's going to have enough damage to trade. Gold Fury coming up in 30 seconds. They got quite a while before that's coming up.
Mid-camps will be picked up, but that is not the prize that Cognitive wanted, I think, after that. The mid-tower... I feel like the mid-tower impacts the game a little bit more than the solo tower that Wukong's about to take.
Let me fix my face. I didn't think he was going to have the damage or control. I didn't think it was going to take them that long to get back over there.
Right.
They'll trade towers out. Aurora getting pressured.
He is a Sylvanus. Chaos will put damage into him. That's 2 out of 3 bombs. And Aurora was half HP, and thanks to Kabam sharing the love, Aurora still very, very healthy.
Yeah, Wisps as well. I mean, that put him up a couple hundred. I mean, probably close to like 600-700 total healing. That's really impressive. And like you said, he got rid of some bombs, got rid of the pressure, showed that he's not willing to fight. I mean, this is really important.
Aurora, nothing lost really, and nothing gained for enemy on that aggression. But it should even out in just a little bit. Not too long to generate a bomb, and now that Gold Fury's up, it will take some time for these teams to sort of posturize. Right now is the beginning of it. And we'll see if enemy wants to respond.
I thought they were going to go for that. Obviously, they don't know that mid lane just joined the jungle to go for the speed buff. Right side, Salt Machine and Meerkat continuously box it out with, again, favor going to Meerkat.
And this is why I said the mid lane tower sort of means a little bit more than the solo lane tower. That Osiris, without his tower of safety, he's still pushing up. He doesn't really mind. Osiris not exactly the most slippery character, very tanky though, and all the way on the right side of the map.
Yeah, can we actually check out the right side of the map right here? I don't think we're going to see VDM do too much in terms of battling, and we're going to see the tower go down on right, and again, Salt Machine going to be forced back. Has had a very hard time in this lane. Meerkat really stepping his game up this split.
Yeah, this is what we've sort of, I don't want to say come to expect from Meerkat, but this is the next level that Meerkat had to achieve if he didn't want to stay stagnant. And I think a lot of people at home sort of saw what he did and saw flashes of greatness really on that on the old COG roster of what Meerkat would do.
Meerkat was, apparently, the rumor is he was trying out for Cloud9. I guess that didn't work out. He was probably a little bit below where they needed him to be, and that might have been the fire. Right?
Sure.
Someone telling you that we're going to use someone else. We're going to use the guy that replaced you on the team that you left for greener pastures. Right? This is that had to light a fire underneath him.
And I like that you can actually see it because Meerkat, like I said, we've seen this sort of play from him before.
His pressure is so much better now.
We know he's capable of it.
His control is better. And
that's what
Salt Machine is probably not the top of the charts here. He's not fighting a Cyclone Spin, but it's Aurora's in some trouble. Wrath of Terror going to deal damage to 4 Fields of Love.
The beads being forced out of Thor is pretty large. Thor didn't even use Mjolnir's attunement, but used the beads just to get out of the slow. Fields of Love is scaring everybody now. No double stack coming out of the Cupid, but that's still a lot of power with that Transcendence.
Meerkat moving forward, trying to force Wiggles away. Still has his ultimate available to him. We're looking at Aurora. Still alive.
That Lacerate does a lot of damage, but no follow-up. Aurora shoving up to avoid the damage from the Thor ult. Still falls, but Meerkat on the long side gets the kill.
Here's Best. Check this out. A lot of troubles here for Wiggles. Is he going to be able to get out? No. Explosion's going to be good. That's going to be a 2-for-1 trade support for mid and jungle. Huge win.
Pernicus is here. Meerkat is here. The rotation in the long lane is very real. Rather than look towards the tower, Cognitive Gaming going to turn their sights onto the Gold Fury. 3 members of enemy are on the side of the map. Salt Machine, Painavion, and Vicium. It's all about how much damage Vedium can get out of that ultimate that's not even up. So, this one looks like it's Cognitives if they want to make it. Salt Machine forced out. Heart Bomb will take him out before the ultimate. Great play.
Even if he got up there, it actually wouldn't have healed him enough to get through that. Kabam with a beautiful Heart Bomb to finish that one up. They find another kill. I'm not sure why Pain is trying to control this. He does not have enough damage by any means to execute this. And so long as Best plays this correctly, this should be zero trouble here. You see him waiting.
Yep, that's it.
And look at that. We saw the Spirit Flail, the Heart Bomb, and the explosion from the Crush all happen at the same time to guarantee the detonate. This is something that a lot of teams are really starting to get used to, and that's coordinating DPS relevantly at the same time. This was actually something that we saw Denial do during Split 1 of this season. Shadow Q on comms, always calling out, like, everyone, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1, explode. Right? And everything goes off at the same time to guarantee the kill. This is something that's going to be even more important in this split, considering the fact that Hog is still crippled.
Yeah, in a world without Hog, mages have sort of become the de facto execute on these objectives, and at this high level of play, you can't just depend on one spell. You need the rest of your team, so everybody being on the same page for that is very exciting and very impressive, as is the lead that Cognitive Gaming has garnered for themselves 24 minutes in.
All right,
They've got 6,000, Brandon.
Check that out. That's a big win right there. 135 gold wasted on the Sentry, 50 gold added for Kabam as he takes another point of vision away from enemy. Cognitive in a pretty decent lead here, about 5,600 experience.
Sure.
Look at that ward placement too. Much more vision on the side of Cog.
They're trying to catch somebody out here doing the jungle. DJ Pernicus and Best are right here, and with a stun from Pern and a slam from Best, that's a dead target. So they have to watch out. Enemy has to watch out for that. And of course, nothing shows up in the jungle, so Cognitive just turns their sights onto the tower, which is already down.
I think Pern's going to get greedy here. He's looking for blink opportunities. Chaos blinks over the wall as well towards the tier 2. He's going to have that down for the next minute or so.
I thought Kabam was going to be able to take that tower.
He's got another chance here.
They'll get it right here. There it is.
Pernicus is playing this beautifully. Just by standing in between, they know that they can't overcommit because Cabrakan coming up behind them is a death sentence.
And this is very interesting to me because you get to see the player play style. That's DJ Pernicus. Other assassins and other jungle gods, they're pick gods. DJ Pernicus likes to play these thicker, tanky gods that can zone all by his lonesome.
So Meerkat by himself right now in the mid lane, pushing up, getting some free experience. He's already level 20, however. So at this point, he should be with his team. Taking a look at the build here for Wukong. Got that CDR with Jotuns. Got some extra tankiness and health, of course, with the Runeforge Hammer.
Now, he doesn't have the teleport that Meerkat has. Of course, now at this point in the game, everybody's going to be grouped up. That might impact things a little bit less, but how will that impact things as the game goes later and later?
It comes down to whether or not he can use the teleport in the team fight effectively. Right. Baiting himself, taking damage, backing, and coming back in, versus what we could see Salt Machine fill that slot with. If he picks up something like a Weakening Curse with how much healing is on the other side, it could really benefit them, but he's got to use it effectively.
I'm actually wondering if this Athena, the curse, if that will actually be an enfeebling curse. You've got an Osiris, a Hunter, and a Cabrakan.
Right.
All enjoy using their basic attacks. Enfeebling Curse is the lesser purchase sister to Creeping Curse and Weakening Curse.
One of the, I think, lowest purchased items in the game, despite its incredible prowess.
I mean, when you look at Osiris, he's got chin size, and he's going to be depending on his base attack speed pretty much. Enfeebling Curse will shut down Meerkat.
It's true.
It will just stop the chin's damage 30%.
And he's not going to have any slow immunity in there unless he decides to ultimate. At that point, it could get pretty hairy. What I'm looking at here is there are still very many open active slots. Notably, we see Medusa doesn't have a second one yet. Thor doesn't have a second one yet. Wukong, over on the other side, we do see a blink get picked up, but we still have one more open from Aurora. What he decides to go into is hard to say. And I was going to say, it should be Heavenly Agility, considering they're lacking it, and there it is.
Yeah, so the Heavenly Agility will not just help the runaway aspect or the run into, if you want to be aggressive, but it also boosts the healing from both Kabam and Sylvanus. Meerkat caught out a little bit, but at the end of the day, he is a tanky Osiris, so not too much damage dealt to him. He'll be able to grab his blue buff, no problem, as enemy splits up, sends Salt Machine in the solo lane all by himself, and the 3-man rotation might be problematic.
Salt Machine stuns. Uh-oh. That might be an ultimate. Yeah, he's
It is. Wow.
I don't know if he needed to do it that early, but I mean, getting it on cooldown and trying to get that before the Fire Giant fight that seems to be looming, probably not a bad idea. Pernicus should spot that he's backing here and is making an attempt into the jungle, being followed by Pain. He's going to back off.
Word placed. So the vision is there.
Look at that player damage, by the way. Meerkat right in the top of the charts there, even without the Mystical Mail that Wukong has.
Chin size. It's an on-off switch for Osiris when it comes to damage. Osiris
I think most of his damage came from just the lane, just from him constantly stunning out the animals, forcing early ultimates.
Sure. That's that sort of the Vulcan fake damage, though. The solo lane back and forth damage doesn't really contribute to the...
Normally, I think Wukong's is ineffective or fake damage, whereas Meerkat has gotten a lot of mileage.
You know what?
Out of this
that's
damage.
really fair. Wukong was forced out so many times by Meerkat specifically.
But then again, there's only a 900 gold difference. How did he manage that? You know, shout out to Salt Machine for keeping that level.
That's what I noticed before, and I'm going to be very interested. Hold that thought. Pain to be pulled into the fields of love. Still alive. It's just a matter of time. He gets out. He will survive, but he's out of the fight.
I don't know. See, they used an ultimate or two there, sure, but they also got the Athena ult. They got the bombs, right? This is, or I'm sorry, they didn't get. They got the Wukong ult. They got the bombs. They're going to be forced to fight into a situation where they really can't pressure.
Well, what Cognitive Gaming just did right there, they forced enemy to use a lot of the abilities that would secure this Gold Fury. Thor in the air, that's one that they did not get. So we'll see where he lands. Thor lands on the backside. That is a large win for Cognitive Gaming. Meerkat in here all by his lonesome, half HP, enemy leaves.
Pernicus lagging a little bit there. It seems did not hit despite trying 4 times. Salt Machine able to juke out and then use the Ox very effectively. We're looking at Vedium here. He still has his ultimate available to him. Major look, got 3 on the stun. This is a big play.
Is the cohesion there? It is. Cognitive gets the objective, but will the fight go to enemy? Off that beautiful control coming out from Medusa. Meerkat taken down by Pain Devion's charge, but great root coming out from Best. So you trade your level 20 Osiris for the Gold Fury. At this point in the game, Brandon, I think that's a win. Cognitive up 7,000 gold.
This is really good for them. Enemy should have booked it though,
Yep.
to the Fire Giant. The best case scenario is getting the Fire Giant. Worst case is they still would have baited Aurora into a guaranteed death, but they choose a 500 gold mid tower, perhaps still very afraid of the veteran support player.
Aurora's the pulls is really, I mean, that's what you expect out of a Sylvanus. That's what you come to see, and the pulls have been there. Aurora has been doing what you want your Sylvanus to do. Vision for both teams onto the Fire Giant right now.
Right side, Salt Machine could be in some trouble here. Aurora looking for the pull. No,
Ooh,
not going to find
great
it.
dodge. Now, something I wanted to say about Salt Machine before is we brought up how Meerkat was pressuring him, but it's not behind too much. When you watch the good solo laners, it's not always about winning the lane, Brandon. It's about knowing how to lose the lane and being all right with it. And I think Salt Machine is, I want to see how he develops in the Pro League, because losing lane effectively is an important part of being a solo lane.
I mean, that's part of any lane, right? We talked about, you know, it's almost a joke at this point how many times Allied has been behind. But, you know, if he's losing the lane, he still gets back into it. You know, most notably, Split 1 lost his lane to Barracuda pretty roughly and then had a clutch 2v1 turnaround that allowed him and his team to wind up going to land over Cloud9. We're going to look at Salt Machine here. Going to be forced to ult. Heart Bomb on the decoy. Decent damage.
Salt Machine might be able to get out of here if he chooses the correct route. And he does
Pernicus.
not. DJ
Wall.
Pernicus here with the stun and the wall. You're going nowhere, Monkey King. Salt Machine going to fall down for the count with the help of everyone. Best secures that kill.
Beautiful rotations as well and movement around the fight. Cognitive separating themselves from the big AoE shots. Not this time though. 3 going to be hit, but Salt Machine goes inside. Forced to beads. Fields of Love. Heart Bomb over the shoulder. Going to be taken down. DJ Pernicus slams down a huge Seismic's Crush.
All 5 members of Cognitive Gaming still alive, and enemy are just being deleted. Meerkat, the latest relevation right there. DJ will get taken out by Vedium's ultimate. But at the end of the day, the Cabrakan isn't the one that's going to be doing the lot of the damage to the objective.
Yeah, but they needed him for zoning here. They don't really have another great frontline zone.
It's Aurora.
Aurora's going to be trying for it.
Gets
Chaos
a root.
Trying to go back.
Cognitive takes their sights off the objective and turns to the fight. Kabam, though, still on the Fire Giant. Still very high, 80%.
Yeah, they're trying to burn it back down. It did heal a lot. We're looking at VDM trying to make the play here. He's not doing a lot of damage to Aurora.
This should be fine now.
It's coming down to it.
Ultimate. This is all Cognitive Gaming's great use of the ults on the objectives. And now they'll turn around. Wow. Crush takes out Chaos.
I don't even think that was the Crush. I think that was just the Sikkim that actually burned that kill down.
I mean, at this point, there's definitely a lot of damage.
Yeah, look at that. He's got the Soul Reaver. It was a Soul Reaver Sikkim combo that was able to do that amount of health. That's something to be scared of. With that, I don't see them holding on too much longer, but they do have a successful defense here because they're not going to be able to push in without that extra frontliner. They need Pernicus here to initiate.
Cognitive, yeah, so DJ Pernicus does have a very important role here, and this is what we see a lot from Pernicus's jungle, is that he's this frontline tanky initiator, and it really works out for his team a lot of the time.
Well, speaking of junglers, all the way at the bottom there, you're going to see Thor, but Kabam, 8,000 versus the Medusa's 17.
Wow. The slash lines, though. Medusa has not died, so perhaps that the low player damage is because, is Medusa playing too careful? Is there such a thing as too careful?
I mean, he's getting kills where he needs to. He's playing the Hunter role properly. I think it comes down to the fact that they don't really have a frontliner. Salt Machine's getting blown up way too quickly. Pain to Beyond getting blown up way too quickly. He's throwing out the taunts to set up kills that don't exist. It's almost like if you've ever watched AFK play and listen to their comms, or Incon will be like, I got three, and no one's around him. Happens all the time. Very gung-ho. The issue here is that behind him, right? AFK, you have Allied, you have Cyclone Spin, you have Kiki, you have Weaken. You have 4 of the most notable, 4 of the greatest players to have ever touched the game, who are constantly being able, even if they're out of position, if they're too far back to follow up, they're able to predict his movement, save his teammate, and reinitiate. Comparatively to enemy, it's just like someone is always dying for free. They have to be cohesive.
And that's really the story of a lot of these teams we're taking a look at.
Like
DJ
this is good.
A little bit. Stun on Assault Machine is great. Ultimate will zone out. Here comes the rest of Cog. From the backside, pull onto Chaos. The dash is down now. So is Athena ult. Salt Machine on the left, Vedium on the right. It's all about who Cognitive Gaming will look at. They're right here in this middle jungle lane. They They don't seem to know where they're going either.
Well, right there, Pernicus got the wisps, right? He has the fire, or actually he doesn't have the fire giant, but he has the wisps. He had the hearts on the ground. He picks them up. There's a lot of healing right there. And there's nothing for them to do to stop it because there's still, for some reason, no weakening. Pain of Yon still sitting on that level 1 curse.
Great taunt coming out from Pain. This time only 2 people get stunned, but Wiggles stuns Pernicus for 60 seconds in the base. Meerkat under tower, forced to use the ultimate to get out of problems. Salt Machine waited just enough, uses the slow onto the solo laner. Double taunt. Double bomb. Meerkat going to be taking a seat as well. Aurora surrounded quite literally by the enemy. Vedium gets the kill. That's 3 down for Cognitive. Enemy making their turnaround right now.
You know, I always talk about how much I love watching Best Scylla because he's patient. And you'll notice, even though there was a few groupings, he didn't believe that he could hit that ultimate. He still has I'm a Monster available to him. And if there's any ability in the game that's going to cause a successful defense against 5, this is going to be it.
But I'm going to ask you the same question I just said about Vedium. When is too careful too much? When is too patient too much?
Right here. I mean, this is where the ult should have gone.
Taunt.
Damage. Too long.
Best. Down for the count. Chaos gets credit for that one off of a great assist of Pain to Beyond's taunt. Kabam, the only one alive for Cognitive. This Phoenix will inevitably go down. An enemy after that. Gold Fury's up. That might be their target.
Yeah, Kabam trying to reinitiate here. I don't know if him and Pern alone are going to have enough. So with that, they're going to try to play a little bit more defense. The Phoenix being taken is really big here. We'll go back to the graphs to see how things are shaping up.
Yeah, 7,800 gold in the way of Cognitive and 6,700 as well. It's still a healthy lead, but you never want to see that graph trend downward. That's going to be a problem for Cognitive if they can't stop the momentum of enemy who didn't go for the objective. Instead, they backed and bought items.
All right, so Fire Giant coming back up here, Gold Fury available. It's likely we're going to start seeing the gesture towards the right side of the map. Sentry Rewards in the inventories for a lot of players. They have about 7 right now in the pocket, so expect the vision fight to start.
Gold Fury now started by enemy. Meerkat in the mid lane and everyone else on the right side of the map. This is all but free 99. Cognitive Gaming loses their first objective. Every single Gold Fury has gone the way of Cog, with the exception of that one thus far. An enemy has shortened up the lead even more so after that push in the mid.
Kabam by his lonesome here, about to be joined. Aurora a little bit too far up.
The backside of enemy coming in with the flank. There's only 2, but there's 3 in the wings. Aurora and DJ Pernicus get landed on by Wiggles out of the sky. Salt Machine in a little bit of trouble, able to make it up to the cloud. That will be a big deal. Meerkat does not have that to his advantage, so he'll be forced out of the fight. Taunt onto 2. Here comes the Berserker's Barrage out of enemy. They seem to have run out of gas, but Cognitive has run out of HP. Kabam falls. Here comes Pernicus. Best gets 1 with the ultimate. Best gets 2 with the ultimate. Best just misses the 3rd. Salt Machine uses the Ox to get out of town, but the damage has been done. Wiggles takes out the very low solo laner. Aurora misses the grab. Here comes the rest from the Best.
Best going to use that Aegis there, not going to get the damage he needed. Double tap, not going to find the kill. Ooh, an awkward teleport. Wiggles thought he had it. He teleported late. Poor reaction time, and that will spell a victory right there. Losing 2, but finding 3 off a very harsh engagement for Cognitive. Now, Eftile, let me ask you.
Shoot.
There was one main difference between the fights that enemy has been winning and the fights that enemy just lost. What do you think it is?
Positioning.
100% comes down to the fact that Vedium tried to use that Stone Gaze on one person without the Athena taunt. It did nothing, and they blew him up for it. Every fight has been won off the Athena Medusa combo. They didn't trust in it that time. They tried to pick the person out of position. Aurora and Meerkat bait them completely. Pernicus gets out of there. Meerkat gets out long enough before he goes down to bait them, and then Best just lays waste.
And when it comes to, and that fight was by design enemies. They isolated 2 members of Cognitive. They just weren't able to seal the deal, unfortunately. So with that, Cognitive able to turn things around. And, you know, I criticized the use before. How patient is too patient? This time around, Best finds the exact perfect time to pull the trigger. Turns the fight around.
It's the dream. It's the double reset is so rare.
Turns the fight completely.
It ends the fight. It really does. Like, that fight ended because Best he just played it perfectly. It was very impressive.
What was fun for me was once the ult was done, he was still an important part of the fight, dancing around low HP, forcing that Thor Wiggles to really try and get the kill. Ultimately winds up killing himself in the process, and Cognitive Gaming looking for one more, sort of looking around the Fire Giant right now. There's enough bodies here from enemy to really just stop the all-in, but this fight, don't be surprised. The next fight will be over the Fire Giant or the win.
Both teams dancing here. Salt Machine trying to play forward.
Trying to get the flank is enemy, but the blink in from Pernicus
That's a Magi's
is good.
win.
Pain is all alone. Not going to go for the isolation. It is an Athena, so you don't really want to put a lot into that target. Salt Machine also a little bit tanky. Gets pulled. It's a long cooldown onto Aurora. Pernicus already half HP.
Yeah, but they still got the Magi's off of Thor, who's already not really doing a lot of damage. Right. So this is going to put them in a good spot to reinitiate here. You can see them grouping up on red. They're controlling space, but they're doing it awkwardly. Luckily for them, though, Cog has chose 2 separate routes, but unfortunately, Wiggles cuts off the path of the team and shuts down any attempt that they had of picking up anyone there.
Reset. Right back where we started. 3 members from Cognitive on the left-hand side.
See, this is a win for Cog because they're actually healing the Phoenix in mid at this point.
Heavenly Agility is popped. The aggression is good from Cognitive Gaming. Ultimate onto Wiggles. Going to force him into the air by DJ Pernicus.
Kabam's forced away
safe.
As well.
He's safe. Thor will miss, but so does Fields of Love. That's going to be a huge team fight boon that enemy will put in their mind. Vicium takes out 1 while Aurora takes out Wiggles to Bay. 3 members of Cognitive still alive with Meerkat in the front.
Salt Machine trying to get something done here. Athena ult's going to be coming down.
Kabam in trouble.
They should be able to follow this. The Aussie's not going to do very much against that burst damage. Best is here. Still hasn't used his ult. Where is the opportunity for him to go for it?
Crush. Meerkat needs help. Not allowed. Best and Aurora, the only 2 alive. Enemy. They've got 4 members deep. Can they win off of this?
Best needs to not be playing back. He should have been playing aggressively. Bait for the ultimate. Throw down the cripple, but he's just letting the Phoenix that they so desperately protected. Uh-oh. Salt Machine going a little bit too deep here. Best going to heal up a small amount of health.
Titan's going to do a lot of damage onto this Sun Wukong.
Oh, I'm a monster again.
Best still not pulling the trigger.
Maybe he and Lassus had a chat about how many ultimates they could not miss. And they're doing the beer challenge as well. There it is. Good damage. Vicium, oh my lord. And no, Aurora pulls him. Aurora was correct to go for the pull there. It increases the CC time. Best should have moved it a little bit farther back. Right there, I think that's the only thing I'm worried about for this COG roster as we get into the later weeks against the more veteran teams, and that is chemistry and trust. He didn't believe that Aurora was going to hit that pull there. He didn't trust to make the call out. They didn't communicate between them, and with it, they dropped the kill.
That's all time, though. As the weeks go on, we should, in theory, see that come together.
I don't know. That was also one of the weaknesses Best had even on Dignitas, way back when.
Well, we'll see if he can make the change with this new roster, or if his old tricks will be a part of the book. Aurora not going to back. DJ Pernicus in some trouble. Beats out of the taunt. That's going to be an important win. Doesn't get pulled. Salt Machine in trouble. Ultimate's large. We'll get into the cloud, but the damage is done. Ultimates down along the way, as well as Pern's beads.
Still a small difference in gold. It's not that big of a deal. Everyone level 20 on the field right now, so this is as even really as we're going to see this get. Enemy still needs a big win, though. They have the Phoenix right down. They're going to get those minions down the middle. Once they see that split, Best is going to appear on the map here. Once they see that split, they should rush, but they're not utilizing that effectiveness. They're not pushing forward with those minions. They're not keeping Best out of the fight. They're not warding the hotspots where he has to be to clean them up. They're allowing the fire minions to die for free, and they're not protecting the investment they made in killing the Phoenix.
Enemy keeps making this round around that rock by the mid-Harpies, and in doing so, they find the flank. Great taunt. They're forced DJ Pernicus into defenses, and Vedium takes him out almost before the fight begins. Thor's going to land right into an ultimate out of everyone, and Wiggles is in a lot of trouble. But he got out with no damage. Great Aegis.
Pain also doesn't die, backs to the base, is healing up, gets the ult back to this fight for free if he needs to. And all the while, we finally did see Best use his ultimate, but this time it looked like it went directly into an Aegis. There was just no prowess for them there. Kabama's getting focused, and he's not getting any peels because all of their frontliners and all of their peel is going right to the backline to try to fight very mobile characters.
I like to see this adjustment by Wiggles, Brandon. Wiggles kept going in, ulting, and dying.
Right.
Now, he's ulting and slamming Aegis. So he's getting the stun for his team that he hopes will be followed up, and he's smart enough to use the Aegis, and this time around completely nullifies all of the damage from Cognitive and able to make it out alive. No follow-up, but it's the thought that counts.
Both teams really have to play harder to their win conditions.
Agreed.
And that's 100%. We need to let VDM get in there and do damage versus we need to make sure the best can get off those I'm a monsters. Everything else should just be gravy. Meerkat taking a lot of damage there. Checking him out. Trying to rotate back. Wiggles, perfect stun. That should be a kill.
Heart bomb on Wiggles, though. That's going to chunk him out a lot. Gets out of the crush. That's a big win for him and his team. He'll still be alive, although he is going back to base. Ultimate down by Sun Wukong onto the tower. Best gets eliminated. Pain to Beyond off of his own assist right there, while Salt Machine in a bunch of trouble. Pernicus bursts him down.
Kabam falls as well. VDM using the beads to try to get out of there. It's Pernicus versus 2, and I don't see him lasting. Nice use of beads. He's trying to turn it around. Aurora's here as well. Heavenly Agility going to be popped. You see him stuck inside, but Aurora doesn't cover the option. Pull, not going to land. DJ Pernicus does not
Chaos
have any...
is here.
Does he have it? No.
Yes, he does. Chaos gets the kill onto DJ Pernicus. Aurora, the only one alive for the Cognitive Gaming squad. No one in sight for an entire 30 seconds, and that will be Meerkat, the Osiris, with all of these minions coming in, as well as the enemy players themselves. It's just a matter of time. Aurora will fall. The Titan. Enemy's game.
Yeah, so far... This game, it was 100% COG, but 2 thrown engagements. Best not using, both engagements they lost that spelled the loss there, was 100% best not pulling the trigger.
Yeah, and I'm along the lines of yes, patience is key, especially with an ability like that. But how much is too much? I need to see a little bit. I need to see Best a little bit more trigger happy next time.
Yeah, maybe even play a different god, right? The Crush was doing well, but he was getting baited into bad spots. He couldn't poke effectively. Slow moving Sikkim didn't really do a lot of damage when it was, obviously it was getting missed a lot.
Sure.
Crush very easy to walk away from max range.
I liked the damage coming out of Sikkim and Crush. I mean, I'm actually going to disagree with you. I'm a huge proponent of the quarterback mentality. Forget this game. Go into game 2, play Scylla again. We know what you're capable of. Let's see it happen.
The change has to be made somewhere, though, because they're playing frontliners with no peel, and then it's just trouble. Like right here, I think Aurora had a pretty rough game here. He was constantly not trying to peel for his supports. He wasn't, or rather for his carries. Right there at the end, DJ Pernicus could have had that kill if Aurora body blocked. Aurora should have sacrificed some of his HP to stop the damage coming into Pern, because if Pern killed VDM, the game would have been saved.
Sure, I do think I think the first blood is a microcosm of what happened for the rest of the game. You had great setup from Cognitive Gaming, and whoever the player was that dropped it, each time around, there was some small misstep that ultimately let enemy go and take it. Because of that, it's an enemy player that's player of the game, and it's none other than Vedium, the player that got that first blood. 6, 1, and 13 on that Medusa.
This is the game that they needed, right? It's more than just playing well enough to show that you're good. It was beating the team that everyone thought was going to shut them down completely. And the first game win coming out from enemy is not only, I'd say, slight vindication to the players who joined that are relatively unknown, but 100% vindication for Pain to Beyond picking this roster and dropping the last.
Vedium played fantastically, and I do want to put a spotlight on Salt Machine at the same time. Salt Machine lost the lane, but he lost the lane intelligently. He made his character work later in the game. Normally we see Sun Wukong's much more tanky. He had a Jotun's Wrath, wasn't afraid of being aggressive and dealing the damage. We saw that work out for Salt Machine. I like it. I want to see more of I want these players to have identities, and if this first game is any indication of how enemy's going to play, they're on their way.
See, for the same point, I'm looking at Meerkat for the same things I looked at him for Split 2. Right, and that comes down to the fact that he won that lane and then still lost the game. And it wasn't because, Kabam was too far behind, even though Kabam did not have the game of his life.
Sure.
But Meerkat had a high amount of gold, high amount of sustainability, especially in the mid-game, and they weren't utilizing him as a proper frontliner. They were relying on this double frontline between him and Pernicus, but Meerkat was getting controlled, and there was no other damage coming out.
I liked the play. Not sure if I liked the pick. We'll take a look at the top performers, though, as presented by Alpha Draft. And, well, everybody liked their plays. Vedium on top, Pain to Beyond right behind him. That 1-2 punch to the long lane is just too much to handle.
Best still taking actually taking a spot there. Chaos there as well. So not everyone.
This is
making it up
actually
there.
really interesting. We do the Alpha Draft top performers every single game, and sure, it's just been Saturday and Sunday today, but this is the first time that we actually see two different teams on the bottom. So I knew this one was close. I'm sure everybody felt it at home, but here you've got proof in the pudding right there. Best smiling cheese face, just showing you, yes, I didn't hit my I'm a monster as much as the commentators might have wanted to, but I still did work.
That's true. We're gonna